It's the final stop on the road to Round Rock as the final game of this ALC tournament semifinal gets underway with Virginia Tech taking on the Temple Owls. Hi, everybody. Dan Zampano along with my partner in crime, George Revercombe. George, it's been a long day. We've crowned 3 people and put them into the finals. We've got one more to go. And the number 1 team in the nation, the Virginia Tech Hokies, get to play a newcomer to this tournament for the first time in school history. The Temple Owls will be playing in the Atlantic Lacrosse Conference Tournament semifinals.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see this game figure out the last piece of the championship puzzle for tomorrow. I think both teams are going to come out hard and fast looking for something to prove. Gorgeous weather, great scenery, great evening for lacrosse.
How can it be any better? As we had the Smoky Mountains versus the Blue Ridge Mountains in the last contest. Is Liberty able to get through the semifinal, going back to Championship Sunday? They beat Tennessee 20-11. These two teams not so familiar with each other. In fact, the only time these two teams have ever played was right before COVID in 2020, where these two teams took on each other. Temple made the move from the NCLL up to the MCLA in 2020. And they wanted to test out how good they were. Well, they tested it out, and they found out quickly as Virginia Tech put a hurting on them. But these two teams have never played outside of that. So interesting matchup here with these two coaches and people that we know well. Panchito Ojeda for Virginia Tech, and then Chris Merkelbach, who's very organized with a really good staff in Temple.
Yeah, Temple coming out here with something to prove. Like you said, got beat pretty bad that first time they saw each other a couple years ago, but they've come a long way since then. I think they're looking to showcase their talent tonight.
Temple also with great assistance. Ryan Winters was the head coach at Florida for a long time and helped bring that program to relevancy in the SELC. And you might notice somebody that you've seen on TV before. That's PLL professional Kevin Rogers is an assistant coach. Plays for Chrome in the PLL, and now he's using his talents to help coach up the Temple Owls as quickly Dan Gaffney wins the face for Virginia Tech. The number 1 team in the land looking to defend their crown as ALC champions, trying to get back to Championship Sunday as we're underway here in Lynchburg as the boys from Blacksburg possess first. Some keys to the game today for our matchup, George.
Yeah, so for Virginia Tech, pick off the pick games. Temple is a big team. They like to set a lot of picks in their offense. Virginia Tech's been practicing that a lot, how to switch, how to handle those pick situations. They have to be able to handle that today and not get caught kind of doubling those guys by accident or not communicating.
Turnover here quickly for the Hokies. And how about for Temple? What can they do? They're up in a daunting task against the number 1 team.
Yeah, Temple, I think, is planning on opening up the bag of tricks, okay? So they know this game coming in. They have to pull something a little bit unique against Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, the number 1 team in the country, coming in with a lot of confidence. I think Temple is looking to change the game a little bit, make it interesting for them.
Virginia Tech also outfitted with not just the offensive player of the year, but the defensive player of the year in the conference as well in Walker Everhart. But on offense, it's very hard to contain 2 guys, Jared Cole and our player to watch today in Aiden Smith.
Yeah, Aiden Smith, he's a junior on the season. He's up to 42 goals, 28 assists. Not only that, he's a captain of the team. He was the ALC Player of the Year in 2022 and a first-team All-American in 2022. A lot of different recognition there. Temple knows he's a dangerous player.
And already given that accolades between these 2 games, he's now back-to-back Offensive Players of the Year. As Cole has an opportunity, got it saved, and then got it back off the rebound and scored. It was a good effort there by Dom Mandel getting out of the cage, but Jared Cole opens up the scoring for the Hokies.
Good job by the goalie to get his stick on that the first time. Unfortunately, just get the rebound, comes right back out the Cole. Good quick stick right into the cage.
Just kind of sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good, and Cole was right there to pick it back up. So Cole's the other tandem half of this offensive onslaught. Him and Smith are just ruthless in terms of goal scoring capabilities, and Dan Gaffney as well is really good at the face-off dot. Wins another face-off for the Hokies. How about for Temple, a player that we might be looking for today?
Yeah, not to be one up by Aiden Smith. Ryan Foz actually has the same amount of points, 47 goals, 23 assists. So 5 less assists, 5 more goals. He previously played at NCAA D2 Tampa. He's a senior, and they kind of call him the party starter. He's kind of the quarterback for that offense, gets everything going. So look for him, number 4.
Smith gets his first shot off, and it's saved quickly there by Mandel, who now has 2 saves on the day. Mandel hailing from Broomall, Pennsylvania. This Temple team comes in with a record of 9-5, coached by Chris Merkelbach, a very organized guy. In fact, Merkelbach is not just a lacrosse coach. He's also about to be a father. He has his wife at home pregnant. He's also a third-year resident surgeon in podiatry, and he's also tied with the Virginia Tech Hokies as a goal from Jackson Salino gets Temple on the board.
Nice assist there also by Ryan Foz. We just talked about him, 23 assists on the season, make that 24. Big, tall, midi, sees over the defense, good pass. Caught Tech a little asleep.
Good shot there for Temple. It reminds Merkelbach of surgery a little bit, offensive surgery right there for him on the lacrosse field. And then also in podiatry is at University of Penn, by the way. So I told him in the pregame speech we had in the production meeting, he says, you must love torture, don't you? I mean, he is unbelievable, the amount of things that he can do. He's an incredibly smart talent. He's very, very smart when it comes to playing lacrosse. Played club at Rutgers as well. So, and with that coaching staff, it is they are never out of any game. They have a lot of talent as well. This has become almost transfer U, 9 NCAA transfers on this team at Temple. And now in really kind of their first settled year in the ALC, already out to a winning record.
That says something about their culture, that they're able to attract some talent like that, bringing those guys in, buying in, building that program.
Starting up on offense early here. Dan Payne, one of their best players on the team, also going to see plenty of action. Here's Zach Copel as well, and Payne will work it back around. Nolan Reap, and really we're going to look on that left side. We're looking for Ryan Foz. He is very, very dangerous. Another dangerous player is Zach Lawrence. He's a transfer from Mount St. Mary's. Number 0, you'll see him at the midfield. A turnover here, scooped up for Virginia Tech. That is the Defensive Player of the Year in the ALC, Walker Everhard. Takes a little bit of a shove on the back end there. Now Virginia Tech quickly tried to get it out to Cole, got knocked down in front. And is it going to be scooped up? Ball's up in the air. They don't see it. Defenders working towards that ball, and now somebody stepped in the crease, and it's going to be back over to Temple. For Virginia Tech, this is the number 1 team in the country, tied right now with Georgia Tech. They are defending ALC champions, and we know about their head coach, Panchito Ojeda, who came over from California a few years ago from Sonoma and was able to kind of rebuild and rebrand this team. This is a team, they talk about one thing, linear offensive sets. They really do. A lot of teams they talk about like to thrive in chaos. This team is very, very linear in their approach to offense, and it shows with how many goals they can score, especially out of set pieces.
The advantage of that is with some of that chaos, guys don't know where they are on the field. But some of that linear stuff, you know your teammates are going to be. You can anticipate those passes, get to space a little bit sooner, easier.
Another turnover, and they turn it back to the long stick midfielder, but it's picked up, and shot was saved there. That looked like a nice job by Mandel. A lot of moving pieces and parts going through for Virginia Tech. They've got a lot of players that play a lot of minutes. On the ground, they kick it back out. Shot, score! Big shot there. Tyler Crooks, number 26, was the man who put it in the net.
Couple defensive mistakes there by Temple. First off, this midi is going to get sucked up out of position and fall. Then we have an adjacent slide from the midi across the top. That's probably not the plan for them. Easy skip across the top, miss rotation, step down shot from Tech. Goal.
And they'll credit Kyle Dixon with the assist there. So Tyler Crooks getting himself on the board and giving the Texaners a 2-1 lead early, and as important as it can be to get off to a good start for the underdog, it's vitally important for the favorite as well in this contest. As Cole collects it off of a missed pass, and the ball got loose, and Jared Cole's out to a good start. He's collected some trash near the crease and put 2 goals in.
Liberty getting a little bit unlucky there. Ball just kind of squirts through right to the Tech defender, but to his credit, he takes advantage of it and C cuts above the goal, makes his angle better, finishes overhand. Textbook. He doesn't keep his feet set and kind of settle for that bad angle shot. He continues to climb that field to the middle, finishes on cage.
And already timeout coming here early on as Virginia Tech is blitzed their way to a 3-1 advantage early on in this game. So we'll take a short break. We'll come on back. Early on, don't go anywhere. The number 1 team in the country up 3-1 on Temple here in the ALC Division I semifinal on Lacrosse TV. Here in Lynchburg, Virginia, at Lynchburg City Stadium, as the ALC tournament is still underway. This is the last semifinal game of the day. We've already seen Coastal Carolina and Charlotte make it through the Division II final tomorrow. Liberty defeated Tennessee in our last contest in the first Division I semifinal matchup by a score of 20-11. One more spot open for the championship Sunday, and it's going to be one of these two teams. Temple traveling down from Philadelphia to take on the Virginia Tech Hokies, number 1 ranked team in the MCLA. Should have, even if they do not win this tournament this weekend, should have a bid into the tournament secured. So they should be playing after this weekend in Round Rock in just a couple weeks. That tournament begins May 8th in Round Rock, Texas. Temple on the attack now. Trying to come from behind cage here. Rotates it back, shot outside. That's Foz, and he gets his first opportunity as Joe Stella tried to feed him, and Virginia Tech able to win that possession.
Not sure what Temple's attack is doing there. Just didn't chase the ball. Let Tech's defense just outrun him.
Now, calm, cool, and collected defense of Virginia Tech. They are loaded. Defensive Player of the Year, Walker Everhart. But Kyle Sudler, who we weren't sure was going to play in this game, is active today. He is very difficult to deal with, along with Patrick Droney. But that time, offsides on the Hokies. So Temple going to get it right back. Drive inside, opportunity in front, and that's a goal coming up for Dan Payne, the transfer from Catholic University. Gets a nice shot off and a good feed from Max Johnson.
That time, 2 slide just doesn't get there in time. First slide fires, second slide's a little bit late on the crease, can't quite get there in time.
He's trailed behind him, and now 8.5 minutes in the first quarter. Temple just down by 1 right now, and we saw this in the last game. A lot of people predicted that Liberty would blow out Tennessee, and eventually pretty much did, but that game was close all the way into the third quarter as Tennessee led with about 12 minutes to go in the third quarter by 1 goal. So Temple trying to do the same and actually probably do more today. They'd like to come up with a victory.
With that potent Virginia Tech attack, Temple really needs to take advantage of winning these face-offs, run some clock here, get good possessions.
Virginia Tech's won a lot of face-offs so far. Temple's won a few. And now they'll set up shop back up top. Kicks it out. Now back top of the key. This is Lawrence. Very dangerous shooter, just like that. Doesn't need a lot of space. Just free up the hands and let it fly. And Lawrence puts it through to tie it up.
That's another great quick release before the goalie can really get his hands up. If you guys kind of picture a box starting at that 25-yard line in between those hashes, that's the kind of where you do not want to let those guys get in. He kind of creeps inside the 25 there, gets his hands free, lets it rip. Big-time shot from a big player.
Lawrence, his 25th goal of the year right there. And continuing on the scorer's trail, he's been a monster there for the Owls and Chris Merkelbach. They love him. Gaffney, quick off the face, opportunity, and Temple stays in. They don't let Smith get a shot off, and Virginia Tech's going to settle. Smith got around his defender. Oh, with style and grace. He messes up the place, and Smith with his first goal of the game.
Slow slide onto Virginia Tech's top offensive player is not going to cut it. Also, crafty finish. Notice the nuance to this shot. Kind of dips his head a tiny bit, then finishes opposite side like that. Gets the goalie going low. Again, not just a straight-up shot, a little bit of deception there. Gets the goalie moving and then finishes it.
Very nice job by Smith as finishing that one. The Offensive Player of the Year just scored his 43rd goal of the year. He's been dominant, the back-to-back Offensive Player of the Year, I should say. Dominant for a long time, just the hardest worker that they have with a lot of talent. Him and Jared Cole have anchored this offense for the last couple of years now, and Panchito Ojeda can't be more grateful, obviously, for talent like that. He's shaped them into it.
Aiden Smith out of Dominion High School, actually Class 4 Virginia. It's actually in my state division. We might see that Dominion team later this year.
We'll look out for that one, George. There's also a high school coach over here, Salem High School. Here's the rundown. Will Stock, who's got a lot of speed, handling the ball. Guarded up. Stock comes around cage looking for an open man. Doesn't have it. I'll rotate it again. Back at the top. Shot. Pipe.
Way too much inside there from Temple's got to keep him in the alley. Cannot let him split you inside like that and get an open shot in the middle of the field. Force him to the outside.
That was Tyler Harper on the shot. Another shot that goes off the crossbar, and that's Jared Cole. So Virginia Tech just getting a little unlucky on some of the shot placement. Here's the young freshman, Alex Ashley. He'll take a shot, 5-hole, and Ashley's on the board. The freshman puts one through and gives Tech a 2-goal lead.
I think Temple needs to fire that one slide a little bit quicker. Both those last two situations, they got in trouble there. That slide doesn't quite get to him in time here. He doesn't anticipate it. He's not already halfway there. By the time he gets there, his hands are free. He's shooting.
Ashley played at Paul VI. From Ashburn, Virginia, Northern Virginia, along with his brother Austin on the team now, both midfielders. And puts one through, and Virginia Tech now 2-goal advantage, and now Gaffney's starting to feel himself at the faceoff dot, quick off the exchange, and they'll hold off. Barker had an opportunity to go. Now Cole is going to go. Cole, and did that hit a Piper? I think that was deflected, actually, off of Mandel, who gets his 4th save of the day.
Cole's obviously a great athlete. I saw he played football at UMass before he transferred to Virginia Tech to play running back. Really shifty, downhill kid, strong, tough, coming from behind the goal like that.
Yeah, tried to get to play football and lacrosse at the same time, but just could not do it with the football commitments. Division I athlete, no question about it, and doing it in football is even tougher. Tough kid, likes to get dirty, as you've already seen. A couple of garbage goals already off some rebounds and missed passes, and just really good analyzer of the game.
Very good rider as well. Great athlete, moves his feet, awesome.
Here's Foz looking to get a shot off, can be very dangerous. And that time he is leveled, and they're going to call penalty there as Walker Everhart had it the whole way. They'll just reset. It's a loose ball push, and Zach Lawrence will reset.
Foz is a big kid. He's looking to get his hands free there around the 25 in the middle, get a shot on cage like he did earlier.
Well, he's dealing with Walker Everhart today, so that is the matchup to watch, no question about it, as Everhart is a bull trying to get around him. From the top, down below, skip pass over to Dan Payne. Payne, shot, squeezed down by Will Eckert, the goaltender. It is his first save of the day. Transferred over from Rollins College and replacing the very, very good Hunter LeClaire, who has been there for a while.
That's a nice little dodge by Temple out of a set play. Got pretty good movement on the backside out of the 1-4. Just couldn't capitalize.
Talked about Eckert being a little bit more quieter than LeClaire was, as they lost him to graduation, but really has filled in nicely for the former All-American. tried to work it back. That pass knocked down in front and then re-corralled there by Jack Ferry, the senior defender. Well, LSM's doing some work for the Owls here, and now they got to work it past the midline, and drop pass is not going to do them any good, as Max Johnson couldn't handle it. Johnson trying to find it, and now it's going to be failure to advance. So that one, you could call a turnover for Virginia Tech, but also could really say that was just an error on the part of Temple. Cole, other side, shot, easy score there for Dan Weber, his 15th goal of the year, and Cole's got himself 3 points.
Looks like Temple might have had 5 guys on D there. We're a little bit unsettled, caught subbing. Tech attacks before they really get set up. There's no guy on the backside. Good finish by the Hokies.
Virginia Tech with a 3-goal lead now, and something they've always done really well is stay poised, calm, and taking one step at a time. It's the message today from Coach Panchito Ojeda, who once again is donning not just the little board shorts over there, but the guy drinks coffee during the game. We
if that's hot coffee or cold coffee.
I think it's hot coffee because we asked him, and I actually asked him beforehand in the production meeting.
Crazier.
I said, "How do you take it?" And he says, "Black, baby." That's the only way to do it. So Coach Ojeda over there enjoying the nectar of the gods, as they say.
They're lucky enough to advance to tomorrow. There might be some rain in the forecast. That hot coffee might
do him. That might do him maybe an extra shot of espresso in that coffee. For Ojeda, the California laid-back nature exudes it to the nth degree, as Everhart just with a great anticipation on that pass to Foz, and now they're out and running. I'm not sure if that was a shot or if they tried to pass it down low to the crease to Cole.
Panchita is a true lacrosse junkie, too. In his off time, a lot of times he's actually running a travel lacrosse team, 460 lacrosse in the area with the youth. So lacrosse.
That is his forte. No questions asked, as Ryan Gaffney was the one that took that shot. And now here you go, Cole with a good ride here going on.
About some of that athleticism by Cole. He's going to be a tough guy to run by.
Cole Furman tried to lob pass it, but it was picked off. Christian Edwards doing a nice job there. And now Dan Weber can settle it down for the Hokies.
I've been really impressed with Virginia Tech's ride so far. A lot of athletes along that attack line, and totally different mindset when an attack has an aggressive riding mindset. You know, they're not just playing offense. That's not just the glory. They want to ride. They want to get takeaways. They want to earn the ball back for their team. They're doing a good job of that right now.
Inside move and a nice little fiddle there off the stick, as Virginia Tech's going to get another goal, this time coming off the stick of Austin Ashley as the other Ashley gets going.
Another good finish by Tech there. That was kind of a redodge, although he didn't completely redodge. The slide came to him, the one slide. And then he was patient, protected the stick, and it went away. You can see the guy running away from him. He slid to him early, kept the ball in his stick, and then recycled back. When that happens, a lot of time that one slide will not be there to re-slide again.
And with 1:19 to go, Chris Merkelbach's going to call a timeout to get things in order, as the Owls have to regroup, finding themselves down by 4 here in the first quarter. What have we seen so far, George, that you've been the most impressed with Virginia Tech?
From Virginia Tech, I think the execution on offense, like you said, it is linear. The guys look like they know where their teammates are going to be. They're moving the ball confidently, and then some of their finishing moves have been really great. Not only are they able to shoot from deep and sting corners, but they're also using a lot of deception on their shots. Some of these mid-range shots that you see the goalies missing, they got a little, shoulder raise. They're dropping their head. They're kind of, you see Aiden Smith do that a lot. Very deceptive finisher, even from mid-range. Kind of watch how he tweaks that shot. Some guys have really fast shots, but they're predictable. They're kind of a smoother motion. If you can add that little element of deception to your game, they're a lot more likely to drop if you can move that goalie first.
Panchito Ojeda likened it to the Socratic method of lacrosse, know thyself. And they certainly have shown that this afternoon already. And They talked about it. They were really impressed with Temple coming in. They knew Foz and Payne and Lawrence were all going to be really, really great players, and a team that has been gelling a lot. But we talked about it in the beginning, the pick games of Temple. They've tried to run them, but Walker Everhart's been really good on defense and has anticipated some of those passes.
Yeah, if I'm Temple, I'm probably going to set my picks away from Walker. I'm going to put him on the other side of the field and try to attack some of the other tech poles or maybe some of those short sticks.
Here's Gaffney, and it's dot back to dot, face back to face, right off of it. He's got a goal.
Great face-off win, swept it right down the middle of the field. Slide never came. Easy finish.
Easy finish there from Gaffney. Talk about him being the sled dog of this team.
Oh, yeah, and even after this now, that's the Temple face-off guy will remember that he got beat forward. A lot of his coaches are going to say, just don't let him win it forward. Don't let him create that fast break, and it's going to create more opportunities for Tech to win it back to themselves.
Gaffney has been all over it. Temple just cannot seem to get a face-off from him, and that's another win.
And those face-off guys are some of the toughest on the team. They take a beating out there.
Now Virginia Tech can get resettled. There's a face-off violation. You do anything you can to get that back, and when you're facing a tough face-off guy like Gaffney, it's demoralizing at times, but they'll try to settle in defensively here.
Temple hasn't done a horrible job on offense, I don't think, so far, getting looks. Really, Tech is just dominating this possession, playing within themselves on offense.
Here's Smith. Cole Furman came quickly out on him. Cole with a jump shot.
Great job by Cole there, coming upfield to meet that pass with his feet coming up. He's not waiting on the ball. He's getting above GLE, trying to increase that angle for the shot.
Back to it with 40 on the shot clock. Cole, just doing a great job of creating so many tough angles for the goalkeeper. He can just move so quickly downhill.
Very good at getting that separation. As an attackman, sometimes it's better to be quick than fast. Obviously, both is nice, but being quick like that in a phone booth as an attackman, just getting a little bit of separation from that defender, stop and start, change directions. A running back is even better at that.
I was going to say, it's probably a good receiving running back as well, as there's a save that pops up into the air for Mandel. It's his fifth of the day, and it pops back into a stick for Temple as they've got to maintain possession. Walker Everhart almost able to pick that one off, and he might get called here right at the end of the first quarter. They're going to wave it off, it sounds like. And Virginia Tech, 8 goals in the first quarter, an offensive show they put on here in Lynchburg against the Temple Owls. We'll come back for the second quarter of play. 8-3, Virginia Tech on top of Temple here in the Division I semifinal of the ALC tournament. Keep on, keeping on, keep watching right here on Lacrosse. Back here at Lynchburg City Stadium for the Division I semifinal. It's been all Virginia Tech here, and the reason being is because Dan Gaffney just keeps on keeping on with his face-off victories. Another win for Gaffney off the face. It's an 8-3 lead, and Smith almost made it 9-3 with a really, really good shot there on the outside, but nobody backing it up for the Hokies.
The anatomy for the upset really for Temple here is big equalizers, goalie play, and face-offs. They're losing the face-off battle right now. That's tough to come back with all those lost possessions. Got to get better face-off play, steal some goals away with some good goaltending.
Oh, what a hit laid out on that for Virginia Tech. Absolute body bag there from Bobby Savage, who lives up to his last name. And now Virginia Tech going to take it back, but just as quickly as they do, a nice little check there from Jack Ferry gets the ball back for Temple.
Goalie getting in on the action a little bit.
Here is Cole Furman, one of the better defenders for Temple. And move it back up. Temple just trying to clear this. Aiden Smith doing a nice job as well on this ride. See that, just 1 second to go before they would have got called for a failure to advance. So even more as difficult it is dealing with their offense, then trying to get the ball back on offense is almost as equally difficult.
Big possession for Temple. Have to keep this within striking distance. Can't let the Hokies continue this momentum.
And it looks like I'll let Ryan Foz go to work. Foz had his hands lifted there by the defender.
Foz, a big body attackman at 6'3", 205. Look for him to keep on embracing that contact, trying to get to the middle of the field.
Zach Kerber with good defense there, the junior from Williston Park, New York. Now Everhart switches back on to Foz, and he'll pass it along.
Temple's setting as many picks as they do. I'd like to see them try to pick off Tech defense. Get your guy a little bit of a better matchup.
Working through defenders and putting on the shot was Zach Kopel. That one was wide. And now with 7 seconds on the shot clock, Temple's got to find some answers.
Here's a good on good again.
Foz passes inside. Shot, score with 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Exactly what Temple needed as Nolan Reed puts it home.
Hokies here are a little bit slow following that up. Looks like the defender's a little too concerned with the check instead of getting in front of his guy. Right, slides with the stick in front of him. Stick's not going to hold him. He continues upfield. Slides with his body upfield there and pushes him down behind the goal. He would have had success. Good finish by Temple, getting around that stick, running through that stick contact, cutting above the goal, getting a better angle and finishing.
Reap is a transfer from King's College at Division III, his second year at Temple. Kind of a guy that gets overlooked in this offense a little bit, but really has a lot of surprising speed. And actually was a teammate of Michael Sowers back in high school. So he's a PLL player. Great Princeton and Duke lacrosse player.
Looks like Temple might have dropped into a zone here. Yep.
Sowers' brother actually played here.
We'll see if the Temple zone has any success against Hokies.
It's starting to drop back into that zone, like you said, and that bothered the pass to Cole, and all of a sudden there's a turnover. So the road back to equality is a long one, but it's certainly not one that can't be traveled by Temple. They are trying to get this clear, but that's not going to help them at all. And now they've got Walker Everhart with the ball in his hand, in his sticks rather. And they'll put it back into Cole's stick, and they'll reset. A big part of the issue of Temple coming back into this game is that Virginia Tech just likes to do so many set pieces. They're not going fast. They're going to drain that shot clock because of the way their offense is.
Yeah, they're very deliberate with the ball.
That's inside Cole. Shot. That's a good save, though, there by Dom Mandel. Had 105 saves this year at a 59% save percentage.
Good offense by the Hokies. Better save.
We've still got 11 minutes to go in this half, so obviously plenty of time for the Owls to get things going here. We've got a couple of different offensive pieces on the field now. As Gavin Evans joins the offensive crew. This is second line along with Joe Stella. Here's Johnson behind the cage.
See Temple setting into a 1-4-1 set piece here. I think they ran this before. Look for some action on the dodge.
Johnson with a short stick midfielder on him. Passes back up top. Spin, shot, and deflected. And a good save there by Eckert. Recaptured, though, by Reap, and they get a fresh 80.
It's good offense by Temple. That's the look they want.
Here's Foz. Passed it off, and that shot goes wide by Johnson. Eckert hasn't faced too many shots today. He's got 2 saves, and Temple's got 4 goals. A lot of shots have gone wide. Back to Foz. Fires, and another good save there by Eckert, but again recollected by the Owls. Here's Stella. He shoots with the left hand And that time Eckert just wasn't quite quick enough as that one went low to the corner, and a good shot for Joe Stella.
And we've talked about this in some previous games. That man defense, if you lose track of where you are on the field and pick up that guy too close to the goal, as soon as he gets his hands free off that move, he's going to shoot it before the slides get there. That time he got picked up, I think, the 20-yard line. That's 10 yards from the goal. He makes a split dodge. As soon as he makes it, slide doesn't have time to get there. They can't recover. Good hard shot on Cage.
It took a lot of effort, but eventually Temple has cut this lead to 3 with Joe Stella's shot, the sophomore from Doylestown, Pennsylvania.
And Temple's offense is honestly giving Tech a lot of trouble right now when they get the ball. Tech is just doing a good job of winning that ball in the midfield and controlling these faceoffs. So if Temple can change that, start winning some of these ground balls, they can get back into this game.
And another possession there for Gaffney. He gets it to Kyle Sudler, the very athletic LSM. But that time, Sudler almost knocked it out. He almost got called for a slashing penalty as well, but no call either side. And Temple, they might have lost that faceoff, but they come out feeling good about it with the possession. Nine minutes to go in the second quarter as the Owls get set back on offense. Foz. Now they knock it down to Reap. Tried to work it into the middle, and that one was easily smothered as Virginia Tech's defense took care of the crease cutter.
It looked like Virginia Tech actually might have been in a zone on that defensive possession. I'll have to watch the next one, see if they stay in it, if they're actually wearing that.
Every time they move it along, and now can get back to setting up their offense. They've gone a little quiet here in the last few possessions offensively. That one's knocked down, now a loose ball. Opportunity for the Owls to get back. Pat O'Hanlon did a nice job of knocking it out of the stick. Can they gain it back? And they do. Jacob Summers, the LSM, moves it up quickly.
Like we talked about, you start winning these ground balls, generate some extra possessions for your team.
And there's Elijah.
Change fast.
There's Elijah Price, the defensive midfielder, the senior from Coopersburg, Pennsylvania, with a nice run. They get it to Foz. Foz spins. Foz fires, and that one goes wide.
That's a fun matchup right there. One-on-one, good on good. Good battle. That's pretty good defense. That's pretty good offense. Good initiating contact there. It's a good roll back to the inside. It's a good take. Good all around.
And back to Foz here. Is a first good opportunity in a while. Still hasn't gotten on the scorer's sheet, but does have 2 assists right now, the Tampa transfer. Owls trying to be patient, trying to find their best shot. Zach Lawrence can definitely do it. We've already seen him throw a hammer down on a long shot that went in for a goal. Foz back up top. Lawrence, does he have another one? No, that time he tried to go low to low and it went wide.
Again, Temple generating some pretty good looks on offense. Not all of them are falling, but I think they're doing what they want.
Skip pass worked out nicely there. 20 seconds on the shot clock for Foz to do something. Gets it around to Reap. Reap, inside, shot. That's a goal and a score. Temple finds the back of the net for Jackson Salino, and it is now just a 2-goal game.
Just too easy there. Caught ball watching. Short stick defender's looking at the ball, thinking he might be the slide guy. Next thing he knows, he got his man cuts towards the crease. It's too late. Ball moves faster than your feet. Get it finished by Temple. Now it's a 2-goal game.
Westchester, Pennsylvania native. Obviously, lots of Pennsylvanians on this roster. With another goal here, and how about that? That is just the second faceoff win for Temple. Unfortunately, it was short-lived as Virginia Tech will collect it off a turnover.
And Tech's had the ball. They've done a good job on offense, too. Both offenses right now fairly comfortable.
Reset. Panchito Ojeda, he says, patience is our virtue.
Although I do believe the Hokies have not scored this quarter.
I do believe you're right, actually. That is true. It's been a 3 straight goals type of quarter for the Owls.
Again, credit to Temple for adjusting there. I mean, 8 goals in the first quarter. They're on track for 32. Now all of a sudden, we held them scoreless halfway through.
They're letting them shoot from the outside, and that one went wide. And I think you alluded to it. Virginia Tech hasn't had the ball on an offense, but the defense of Temple seems like it's kind of being more of a zone attack.
Yeah, right now they've dropped into a zone, making Tech play a little bit of a different game. You know, in practice, most of these teams, they practice against what their defense does. If their defense runs man, they're going to practice against man. All of a sudden you see zone, throw you off a little.
Furman knocked that one down, that pass, and again, another turnover. Temple seemed to have found something here. They've stuck to it, and they tried to clear it, though, and now we're in a chaotic moment. Let's see if Tech takes advantage, and a behind-the-back pass is not going to work for the Hokies, as that's a turnover.
A little bit too fancy there. I know the coaches are wishing he did not throw that behind the back. That live ball turnover in the middle of the field with a goalie out, that's gold. You got to take advantage of that.
Jack Jenkins, the Richmond native, just a little too cute on that pass, and what looked like a really good opportunity is now turned into a Temple possession. Sticking with that midline there, as Stella's going to stay in.
Temple's going to have a subbing opportunity here for a second. Looks like they have a quick 6-on-5. Let's see if they find it. They do.
They do. There's the shot, and then just a kind of messed up there by the defender, as got back just in the nick of time did Lucas Bort.
That was a nice sub by Temple there, catching Tech off guard, subbing through the midfield line.
Gavin Evans came on and is going to do some work here at attack.
Temple trying that pick, and going away from Walker. I think that's smart.
And they're putting Foz back up at the midfield as well. Looking for something. That's a shot that goes wide by Dan Payne, the attackman. So maybe a little different look here from the coaches at Temple. Merkelbach trying different lines and different positions, and now Foz is going to go back to attack.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they want to get Everhard away from the ball, but here he is on ball here. Looks like we're going to get another 1A on 1A matchup here.
15 seconds on the shot clock.
There's the pick, and there's the switch.
And they've got the switch and the shorty on Foz. Can he take advantage of it? They slide to him quickly. He tried to pass it off, and that's going to go out of bounds. They're going to count that as a shot, I guess. 5 seconds on the clock. Got to find it quickly, and that's going to be over and back anyway. And now restart here for Virginia Tech, and Temple luckily has the numbers to deal with it.
I will say, with Tech's very linear offense, they will have success against this zone. They have zone plays in their offense that they can run. Everyone knows them. It's not like they're going to be freelancing. So I guarantee you the coach has been talking about what to run here, how to execute this play.
See if they can make it come to fruition. We'll just play a little pitch and catch for now. Now back up top. Shot goes wide, but recollected by Cole. Now a left-handed shot that's saved again, but again recollected by the Hokies, and they'll have to regroup.
Top of that Temple defense is getting a little sagged down. If they're not careful, that top middle guy is going to make a move and get a good shot off.
That's a wide shot there by Will Stock, and they were not backing it up as Temple will regain it. Now there's 3 minutes to go here in this half, and some of the wind starts to pick up. The clouds start to roll in, and you never know what can happen when the weather starts to change. Things go your way. That time, though, that is picked off by Jack Jenkins.
Tech's lucky to get the ball back in possession there. When a team's playing a zone and you don't back the ball up, that drives coaches even crazier because it's not like there's a defender behind the goal there. You got to have someone behind the goal, or at least anticipating that shot to go chase, keep that possession. But Tech earns it back on that ride.
One person they haven't let beat them is Aiden Smith. Just 1 goal today so far of the 8. Shot goes wide again.
If you're Tech, you don't want to dodge into this zone. You want to beat it with ball movement.
Cole gonna try to dodge anyway, and Furman got him for a moment. Check the ball out of his stick. He'll go back up top.
And now it looks like nope, they're still zone.
Jenkins inside to Stock, and a big-time save there by Mandel. Can Temple possess, though, is the question. And it looks like they cannot. Or maybe they can. Furman, he had it on the sideline and let it go.
I think that's 3 stops in a row for Temple, but 3 straight failed clears. Those are the ones they need, especially in this 2-goal game, to make this interesting for the half.
And now a timeout called by Temple with 1:52 to go in the second quarter.
And that might be just to give some of their defenders a break after that extended possession.
We'll come back. We'll take a short break. Can Virginia Tech finally crack the scorer's code here in the second quarter? You'll find out. 8-6, they still lead the Temple Owls here in the Division I ALC semifinal on Lacrosse TV. It's been a war of attrition for the last few minutes as the scoring is grinded to a halt. Virginia Tech, the number 1 team in the country, has yet to score in the second quarter, yet they still find themselves up 8-6 on the Temple Owls, who have scored 3 consecutive goals in this quarter. But right now they're holding on as they just can't seem to get a clear going versus this Virginia Tech ride.
Tech has had a couple good opportunities here in the last couple of minutes, just haven't really been able to bury any.
Talked about the zone defense really bothering Temple, but right out of the timeout, Tech finally figures it out, and it's Jack Jenkins who does it.
Big hole in the middle of the zone there. That top middle of the zone climbs up to meet that ball carrier. The bottom middle guy also has to climb with him on a string to meet him. He does not easy catch in the middle of the zone for a goal. It looks also like Temple's electing to put 2 short sticks in the middle of that zone, which is a little unorthodox. So they have their 4 long poles on the 4 outside corners. If they do that, you might be able to defend those outside shots by getting their hands a little bit easier, but you are going to give up more of those inside passes with less stick length. You saw that right there. The shorty wasn't able to get on his hands. Look for more of that out of Tech.
It took 10 minutes and 17 seconds, but they finally got a goal here in the quarter. And that was a win for Gaffney on the face, but taken right back by Temple. And they'll wait for a second. Quick stick shot that does not go. And recollected by Reap. That was Dan Payne who tried to take it. And also a nice job by Hunter Clements getting it back on the face. So Temple with approaching the final minute now of the half. Just want to stay within distance for an opportunity to maybe pull off a huge upset.
Yeah, the last thing you want here is another Virginia Tech goal. If you're Temple, you're in this game. You're looking for a goal here to end the half, protect the ball.
Body's falling to the turf as Payne gets it back up. Here's Lawrence. He's got a good shot, and he takes advantage of it. Zach Lawrence, how do you do? And with 42 seconds to go, Temple cuts the lead back to 2.
I mean, that's just unselfish textbook offense right there. We get a dodge. I mean, simple slide. One ball movement, moves it one more time to the backside. No one's there. Easy finish.
And did you see Ryan Foz, as soon as he passed it, he put his finger up in the air because he knew Lawrence was ready to shoot and fire. That's calling your shot right there. Back here at Lynchburg City Stadium as maybe a light drizzle about to fall down here in Lynchburg, but we are still here. Dan Zampano and George Revercombe, former Appalachian State midfielder, getting his set for the second half here as we are now underway in Lynchburg as Virginia Tech had a great first quarter, but the scoring has virtually stopped as they only got 1 goal in that second quarter. 9-7, they lead Temple as Temple has not only figured out a defensive strategy, but they're actually starting to win some faceoffs now. They're down way big to Dan Gaffney, but they're still trying to figure it out, and they have to some extent.
Yeah, they've come out on top with a couple of faceoffs. Even when they haven't won, they've won the ground ball afterwards. They've won that possession.
Well, this is an important possession because they are man up right now and had a free clear, and that is a big turnover that Temple just had because that's going to force them to play some defense and give Virginia Tech an opportunity to kill this penalty.
See if Tech can convert on more turnovers like they did the first quarter. They really made Temple pay when they turned the ball over, especially live ball in the first quarter. Second half, Temple took care of the ball a little bit better, but they still had a couple failed clears where Tech had great opportunities to build their lead where they kind of failed to do that.
Jared Cole is the only multi-goal scorer today for Virginia Tech. He has 2 goals and 1 assist, and maybe a surprise, Aiden Smith has been held to 1 goal and really has not had a lot of shots on the cage either, maybe 3 or 4 in the first half. So Temple's done a good job taking him away. That's something that they wanted to do, but still looking for some opportunities elsewhere. We've seen good spatial awareness from both teams as Will Stock's shot goes high. We've also seen Zach Lawrence and Jackson Salino be the main goal scorers for Temple. Both have 2 goals, while Ryan Foz has provided 3 assists so far today for the Owls. Stock tried to spin through some defenders, and that's a turnover, so no harm, no foul for Temple. Maybe a missed opportunity on the man up, but still a chance to cut it to 1.
And Temple a little savvy there. They played a lot of zone going into the half, but right then they were playing man. I guarantee you Tech was kind of preparing for them to run zone, probably throw them off a little bit when they came out in man. Let's see if they stay in man or go back to that zone here.
Something Virginia Tech was successful with in the first quarter, but they haven't seen it since, as Tyler Harper was the one that turned it over. I think there's an offsides penalty.
Maybe not.
And it'll be on Temple. So they'll throw another defender into play. Ball is knocked loose, if only for a moment. Alex Ashley, the freshman, both him and his brother Austin with a pair of goals today. Stock inside, ball dropped for a moment and then regathered. Back out to Smith. Does he have a goal in him again? Smith beats his defender, and a good save there as Don Mandel has also kept Temple in this game. He's got 9 saves today, leading up to this man-down possession for the Owls.
Yeah, that was a great save. Aiden Smith there with a nice little, he put his head down and tried to finish high there. Again, deceptive finish, but the goalie got him. Quality shot, quality save.
Mandel, talked about a junior from Broomall, Pennsylvania for the Owls. And he's had 50 saves last year in 11 games and only really played a few games last year. He had 20 saves as his high this year against James Madison. Has a little bit of a hockey background as well.
Now
there's a shot that goes wide. James Stewart on that shot. Virginia Tech, 1 goal in that second quarter, trying to get their first of the second half. And there it is. Cashed in as Brendan Ford, the senior from Englewood, Colorado, puts the Hokies back on the board and gives them a 3-goal lead.
And just Temple, just a fingernail's hair off of getting a tip on this ball. Ball sneaks over the pole. Probably should have gotten a tip on it. 35, a little upset with himself there. But a good pass, good finish.
Jack Ferry probably felt the wind of that ball go right past his stick.
Yeah.
Temple's still plenty in it, though. Hokies trying to gain possession again off face. Looks like a loose ball push coming here. And it's going Virginia Tech's way. Back on offense go the Hokies. Trying to settle back into an offensive set where they can play their style, linear lacrosse. But Chris Merkel back in the Temple offensive and defensive coordinators have done a really nice job today, especially the defense, on mixing and matching what the Hokies see. Drive inside. A couple of different players also joining the squad here. Liam Savage out there again, along with Will Gianelli. He's a John Carroll graduate, Bel Air, Maryland.
Tech's playing with good spacing, good execution right now. I like the offense that they're running.
Smith, outside shot, and we were waiting for it, and he delivered. You can only keep him down so long, but the 2-time ALC Offensive Player of the Year gets another one to go, another multi-goal game for Aiden Smith.
Great patient possession there, moving the ball quickly, unselfish play. Great shot, great finish by Aiden Smith. And again, Aiden Smith, he's nifty little finisher. Even from deep there, he throws a little uniqueness on that shot. Gets the goalie moving a little bit before he releases that ball.
He's got a great lacrosse background. They describe him as a lax rat. His father played at UVA for the Cavaliers back in the day. And just great classic Nova kid. Works hard to actually makes his teammates harder. Or better, excuse me. It's kind of the description that Coach Panchito Ojeda likened him to, and one of the things he liked best about him as a teammate, not only his talent, but his ability to get other people involved in the offense.
And he seems very under control. I haven't really seen him make any bad decisions all day. Great move.
He goes
by him.
again. There it is. He just finds his space in the defense. Cole was looking for a setup pass on that shot. Now he tries to set up another offensive player, but that one is saved by Mandel. Mandel is down as he took that one to the body. And we'll see if the officials stop play. They finally do, as Mandel's 10th save was a tough one.
And that might have been the lower part of the body there.
Yeah. As looks like the trainers are going to come out here to assess Mandel, as that shot was a hard one.
And you see Temple's backup goalie warming up on the sideline.
As they should. So as we look at what's going on, but as we'll have some thoughts and prayers out to Temple goalie Dom Mandel as he looks to be, has his helmet off and sitting up in tension. We obviously hope that he's all right and he'll get up hopefully on his own accord. Temple withstanding the offensive onslaught here, but Virginia Tech's found a little bit of a hole in that defense as luckily now Mandel has come up to at least one knee and hopefully he'll be able to come up under his own power. Just took a shot in that lower body area and will have to come off the field. So as he to a round of applause from the stands, and now Tom Handy will have to be the handy man as a backup goaltender. A senior from Westchester, Pennsylvania is going to come in. And he's played in 12 games this year, so has some experience. Played the entire game against SMU earlier this season. See if Handy can come in and make a couple of stops. And you got to think, and it's an unfortunate situation, but you got to think Virginia Tech is probably licking their chops to get a backup goaltender in.
Temple back in that zone.
Comes that shot that goes wide. As Austin Ashley is starting to put a couple of really powerful shots on net. Cole, that one skimmed the crossbar, and it doesn't matter because Temple was back to get possession. So here comes Handy now in his first clear. See how he deals with it, especially with that ride, and that's actually a pretty good pass inside. Got to work through it, and they do. Running through contact is Jackson Salino. Got a couple of NFL draft terms this weekend, no question about it. Some former football players with the draft going on. I'm sure it's on the minds. Here's Salino up top. Salino, good strides here, change of direction. Underneath shot is actually a pretty good one. He's going to draw the penalty here. That one was collected by Payne, and he hits the deck with a shot as well that goes wide. Payne got up for a moment, then had to get back to a knee, but Salino drew the penalty, and it'll be man up. See Payne grimacing a bit after that.
Looks like that might be a 30-second push. Another big hit there at the end by Virginia Tech. Nice legal hit. After the penalty, at least.
One legal and one not.
That's right.
As taking a seat is going to be Sam Jones, one of the better D-mids for the Hokies, transfer from William and Mary. Good opportunity to cut it back to 3 for the Owls. And Sudler got in on the hands of the midfielder, almost caused a turnover. Lawrence got it back, but Walker Everhart was right there. Both guys lost their sticks, and it's going to be going back towards the Hokies. And now a flag coming against the Temple bench for a disagreement here, as Salino, I think, is going to get tagged with this. He was not happy coming off the field, and now he'll have to take a knee.
Looks like he might have walked through that defender's stick as he was picking up the ball.
Didn't quite see what exactly happened, but Salino got pegged immediately by the official and had it thrown. So on a man-up possession for Temple, that's 2 man-up possessions now. Temple has not been able to cash in, as Salino will sit along with Sam Jones. And at some point here, Virginia Tech will have a man-up opportunity.
That's a big penalty for Temple. 4 goals, they're in this game. They just need to get the ball back on offense here. They're going to be stuck on defense. A good scoring opportunity for the Hokies to bring it to 4.
8:15 to go, and still with a 4-goal lead for Virginia Tech. But even though the only time it really felt safe was after the first quarter, since then, Temple has really, you got to say, Temple has outplayed them, really.
I think Temple's been comfortable in the 6-on-6 on offense. They haven't really beaten themselves. They've struggled some with the clear. Hokies haven't taken advantage of it as much. But you see their execution here in the third quarter coming to fruition, some of that skill coming out.
Wicked shot for Harper right off the end of that penalty. And now the man-up offense can go to work for Virginia Tech. Moving around inside, good opportunity. That one was knocked out of the stick as Grayson Barker got a stick on it, couldn't quite corral it, and that one's past Brendan Ford. Now Harper will regather, and this penalty has come to an end. And there's a turnover for Virginia Tech, so no harm done to Temple after the penalty. Maybe some precious seconds ticking off the clock, but still within striking distance.
A little bit of a lazy pass there by Temple, kind of coming downhill, tries to throw across his body there. That's a tough pass. He's got to get kind of pointed towards his target a little bit better, get better footwork, and really extend his arms back across, get that ball on the other side of his offensive guy.
Trying to test Handy on this ride, and it works out nicely. Virginia Tech, what a job by them and their attackmen riding some of these defenders.
Beautiful ride right there.
And Lawrence got caught. Not only was Lawrence kind of in the craw of the midfielder, but he also was offsides, and it's another costly penalty for Temple now.
The coaches are telling him to go, but nope, there doesn't matter anyway.
As Cole's shot goes wide, and just a couple of mistakes now here in this third quarter for Temple. They got to keep their composure here, don't they?
Yeah, they've had a couple opportunities to kind of get into this lead a little bit. Haven't been able to. Again, you're only down here by 4. You don't want to panic. You don't want to get sped up too much. You want to run your offense. You've shown that you can score goals when you run your offense and you're patient. You've shown that you can get good looks. The Tech's done a nice job adjusting. Temple's offense starting to slow down a little bit. Looks like the Hokies might be pressing out a little bit further, kind of challenging that Temple skill with their own.
Well, Temple held Virginia Tech almost scoreless in the second quarter. They have yet to score now in the third. Skip pass. Smith, too easy, as the OPOY gets another one, and a really nice pass across by James Stewart lends him an assist.
Yeah, and that's a layup for Aiden Smith right there. He's reading the goalie really well, though. See, he hits that inside pipe. If he normally puts it there, he's going to probably hit the goalie. But because the goalie drifts to that opposite pipe, Aiden reads that, takes his time, calmly places it near pipe.
On top of that, James Stewart with the assist. He's usually a man-up player, is a lefty shooter, and a transfer from Shenandoah. He actually is an EMT. And earlier in the season, the Hokies had to play Liberty on a Saturday down at Lynchburg. He works in Roanoke as an EMT. He worked all day into the night on Friday, made it back for the game, and then was able to go back to work on Sunday.
So a real-life superhero.
Real-life superhero, first responder, maybe one of the favorite players on the team for Panchito Ojeda, and you can see why. Inside, beautiful feed by Cole as he is able to find Grayson Barker, and now the floodgates have opened a little bit here for the Hokie offense.
Just too much space on the crease for the Hokies to operate there. Middle of the crease, wide open. The guy doesn't slough down quite enough. Just a one-timer to the back of the net. And that's a good time of catching it and put it in the goal. You don't want to catch that thing high and then drop your hands down and give the defense an opportunity to land a check. Catch it high, keep it high, put it right in the back of the net. Peck doing also a good job of finishing these under control. A lot of players get close to the goal and it's just this out of control sort of shot. They have an urgency to their shot, but they're reading that goalie and placing the ball well.
Gaffney, another unsung hero today as he tries to keep that one in, and just the fourth face-off victory going to be credited to Temple. He has been dominant at the dot as the Owls finally get the ball back in possession, but what was once a 2-goal deficit for them is now ballooned to 6, but again, still plenty of time.
I believe Temple might have been down by 6 before when they climbed back to 2 goals, so they've done this before, but it's obviously a different situation now in the third quarter.
The only difference with that is they never got it to a tie game. So it's an even harder press now when facing an uphill battle. And Virginia Tech hasn't played a lot of defense in this half, as well as Foz's shot goes into the stick of Eckert, who's only has 4 saves, but again, hasn't faced a ton of shots on goal. Sam Jones work his way through, trying to stay on for a little bit. And now will come off, and the Hokies will set up shop again. About 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Dan Zampano, along with George Revercombe. We've been here all day as we're almost at the end of our 10 hours of coverage of the ALC semifinals at the Division I and Division II level. We will be back tomorrow for Championship Sunday here on Lacrosse TV, as well as nice job there as Tom Handy going to get his first save of the day. Actually, I think now Mandel is back in the game. So Mandel is going to be back in with the 11th save, and now a penalty coming up here as there was a late hit out of bounds.
That was a good last possession from Tech. Good hard dodge, drew the slide, moved the ball to the backside, took another hard dodge, just a good save.
Mandel, you can see he is on it, just a junior, so he should be back next year for the Owls. And now a man-up opportunity again for Temple, and this is where the road to a comeback must start, isn't it?
Absolutely. They need to take these advantage opportunities and take advantage of them.
Salino back in, moving the ball around cage.
You see Tech showing a little bit of pressure up top, kind of showing stick, trying to get into their hands, slow down that ball rotation and that man up.
Tried to get a skip pass, but Eckert came out of the crease, and now he's fair game, and there's a penalty coming up. They called a penalty there on Nolan Reap on what would have been a huge turnover and probably a goal for the Owls, but Reap gets caught, looks like a slash.
Yeah, usually the refs have a little bit less tolerance sometimes for that wrap check on the goalie. Don't get away with those quite as often, it seems.
Goalie treated kind of like the quarterback in football, right? You just don't really get the benefit of the doubt on some of those hits.
Yeah, without elbow pads, I don't think they're supposed to officiate it differently, but I do think, they're a little bit protected in that sense. Especially with those out-of-control kind of one-handed wraps.
So a seat taken, and again, a man-up opportunity for Temple thwarted by a penalty on Temple. Now Virginia Tech will look to capitalize. Approaching the 4-minute mark here in the third quarter. So as part of our coverage tomorrow, we'll have 2 games for you here on Lacrosse TV. The first is a Division II final. It'll be Charlotte versus Coastal Carolina in a rematch of last year's ALC final. And then the winner of today's game versus the Liberty Flames, who are back in the championship game of the ALC. Good save again there, as that one was a turnover, actually, by Virginia Tech.
Everything Aiden Smith does is very deceptive. Even that on that pass, he's looking it off. He's a very crafty player, very sudden, very smart. Been very impressed with him, playing within himself. He's not going to force anything. He's going to take what they give him, play smart. Good team player.
Temple down by 6, and you've got to wonder when they start trying to force the hand of the Virginia Tech defense and try to put a little added pressure on here as they trying to catch a substitution. Like you said, work it down low. Stella was in the middle, but they never flinched defensively in the middle there, as Patrick Droney did a nice job of staying home.
Yeah, like you said, Temple had a quick 6-on-5 advantage with that midfield sub, kind of force something to the middle and take advantage of it.
This veteran defense of Droney and Everhart, Sam Jones and Kyle Sudler, so many talented long poles on this Hokie team. We talk about their offense all the time, but the defense is really just as talented.
Yeah, you're talking about Sam Jones, number 9, coming off the field right now. I've noticed him not only for the bright shoes and socks, but some of the clearing he's done, some of the tough defense he's done, some of the tough ground balls he's had. You need that out of those gritty, tough defensive middies. He's definitely that strong kid.
That's a loose ball push, a little too much for Stella, and he'll get the flag called on him. That has to be the 5th or 6th penalty on Temple in this half.
Again, I love the way Tech's playing offense now. Really unselfish ball, drawing that slide, moving the ball really quickly to the backside. I like Tech's offense a lot right now.
Let's see, calm, cool, collected with their passing. And that flag is actually going to be waved off, and they'll just call that a loose ball push, it seems. Not entirely sure what the call was actually on the foul, but Panchito Ojeda expresses maybe some displeasure, maybe not.
It looks like the Owls are even now. Gave them an opportunity to become even without actually having to run in to do it.
Inside pass and a good save as Mandela's come back into this game and made a couple of nice runs.
Good feed, just a tough angle shot there, catching it right on goal line extended. Not a lot of room to work with on that shot. Good save.
Oh, maybe a high hit. They don't call anything. Everhart a chance to score, and Mandel again being a brick wall.
He might have made that save almost outside of the crease, kind of coming outside the cage, helping his angle. Good save there.
Temple's got some numbers and just not a pass that's on target, as Foz was open, and one of those rare times where Everhart not in position, being all the way down the field. Looks like a timeout coming here with about 1:33 left in the third quarter. And it looks like we will have a timeout of our own here on Lacrosse TV. 1:27 left to go in the third quarter. Virginia Tech leads 13-7 over Temple. The ALC Division I semifinal. Here in Lynchburg as the Virginia Tech Hokies held a 13-7 lead over the Temple Owls here in the semifinal Division I ALC tournament. Trying to finish off the job in the fourth quarter, but still a game, no question about it. Temple has not scored a goal in this third quarter. It's what we talked about with Virginia Tech in the second quarter, who only scored 1. Now Temple finds itself on that end, and obviously some type of adjustments probably on the offensive end here for the Hokies that has led to that.
Yeah, definitely a game of runs. Looks like all 3 middies went back there for the goalie. You got to help him out. There we go.
Eckert way out here. Any turnover at this point, and it would be a real run. Under control, though, are the Hokies, as is their identity. Now Aiden Smith going to back off. Just wait.
Again, the lacrosse IQ at Aiden Smith. Excited what he does with the ball here.
Starts the motion. Now they get a short stick midfielder on Aiden Smith. Now they pass it off.
Like they're back in that zone.
Looks like it. Harper doesn't shoot. Now underneath. They'll back off.
Look for the Hokies to kind of probe that zone in the middle, underneath the top guy and ahead of the.
Stock spins through like a top and then fires in. And Will Stock has a goal for the Hokies, extending the lead.
Yeah, nice dodging finish there. Typically, you don't want to dodge into a zone, but got some momentum, protected a stick. Nice little dance move through there. Nifty finish.
Maybe some overcommitment from the defender.
Yeah, a little bit loss of balance on that. If you're going to break down, kind of buzz your feet, chop, keep that center of gravity low in balance, you're able to close out with the right angle. A lot of guys get excited when they see that and they want to close out super fast. You almost have to think about it like a close out in basketball. You want to give that guy room, get your hand up, break down, get your feet buzzing.
Nice goal for Stock. There's a win for Temple. Rare win on the faceoff today. As we approach the 22nd mark here in the third. Temple can nay afford any more goals given up. They've got to start putting them in the back of the net as Foz lets one fly and it's out of bounds, and Temple will keep it with 8 seconds. Payne's got to go in fast. Tries to spin. Way out. And that shot goes, but they wave it off. Foz did not get it out of his stick fast enough, and even though that doesn't count, that might be something that Temple might use later in the fourth quarter.
That's a good feed up top. That's where they want their big shooting attackman, middle of the field, about 15 yards out. It's a good shot. Unfortunately, it's not going to count on the scoreboard.
Virginia Tech feeling themselves heading into the fourth quarter. They are up by 7, trying to finish off the Temple Owls en route to Championship Sunday here in Lynchburg. 14-7, Tech on top. Back here in Lynchburg as we get set for the final quarter of this ALC semifinal matchup in Division I. Temple trailing Virginia Tech 14-7. The number one team in the land has looked like it in this second half, as just a little delayed step there and then stepped into that shot did the midfielder James Stewart, who puts one home and extends the lead to 8.
On a fast break like that, that's kind of the wrong slide from Temple there. Slid from the bottom upfield. That's not the right slide. There's not going to be a slide across from the field there. It's an easy finish from the attack. You want to see a point guy slide there so they can rotate that.
Stewart, the Fredericksburg native, getting his name on the scorer's sheet. As Gaffney wins another face-off here. It has been a virtuoso performance. We actually haven't talked about it that much, but Dan Gaffney has dominated.
Yeah, we need to give him some more credit. He's had a great game for them.
Not only has he won he's only lost 5 face-offs today, and he's also got a goal. So definitely consideration for player of the game that they give out after the game every.
That's right, captain also on the team, so I'm sure he's being a leader on the sidelines, talking to the guys. Temple back in that zone.
That one falls into the stick of Elijah Price, but as quickly as it comes, it falls back out again. And now recollected by the Hokies.
The downside of running this zone when you're down by 8 here in the fourth quarter is Tech doesn't have to attack it that much. If you're going to sit in it, they can really kind of kill some time off.
Jump shot by Aiden Smith, showing the athleticism and strength to get that one off, and a low corner shot gives Smith his 4th of the day.
Great finish by Smith there, coming across the top of the field, gets to the middle, kind of jumps up, high release, ball goes low. Good job of changing planes on that shot.
Look at Aiden Smith, not just one of the best players in the ALC, but certainly a consideration for first-team All-American again, as Temple will take another timeout with 13:44 to go. Now finding themselves down by 9. They have been shut out in the second half. We'll take a short break and come on back. Virginia Tech is dominated in this second half, and they're trying to finish it off to get to Championship Sunday tomorrow. 16-7, they lead Temple here on Lacrosse TV. Back in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Lynchburg, Virginia, 16-7, Virginia Tech on top with a little less than a quarter to go. Dan Gaffney's been one of the unsung heroes that we haven't talked about enough, but that's the reason why, as he lights up the face-off dot with another win, but that time his stick a little hung there and turnover created by the Owls. But again, as quick as these turnovers have been created, Temple just can't seem to garner up the 50-50 ground balls.
No, and Virginia Tech's attack has done a really good job of getting on that ball with that athleticism. I've been really impressed with that entire attack line today. Jared Cole, Aiden Smith, and we haven't mentioned him, but Grayson Barker as well, captain of the team. He's on that left side there. He's also had a great game.
Here's Smith again. 4 goals on the day. Only had 1 in the first half, but has come alive here in the second. Trying to move along, and some work being done by Jenkins behind the cage. Back up top, that's a shot that goes high, and stay with the Hokies. Now Smith playing a little higher up top, gets it off to his teammate. That was number 28, Austin Ashley, the freshman, with his second goal of the day, as the other Ashley brother benefits from a great pass from the Offensive Player of the Year.
Like you said, great pass there, but also great job of him keeping his feet moving towards the ball. So he comes across the feet keep moving towards the ball. He doesn't settle with his feet set and take that outside shot. Keeps his feet moving towards that ball, gains leverage to the middle, so when he catches it, he just turns it loose.
The second brother tandem that we've had today scoring goals. It's looking more and more like the A brothers versus the B brothers tomorrow, with Ashley brothers of Tech and Branham brothers of Liberty. Should be a lot of fun tomorrow in Lynchburg, as long as Virginia Tech can close this game out. Gaffney took a shot from his own player, and it is recollected by Temple. Coming up quickly here, Pat O'Hanlon is going to handle it. He's got to be careful. Kyle Sudler is very dangerous, and as are most of these defenders from Virginia Tech, and they get it right back. Smith, they have numbers. It's a 3-on-2. Smith does it himself. Too accurate. Did that one go? They're going to count it. They're absolutely going to count it as it bounced in and out, and that is a savage shot there by Aiden Smith.
The deception on that shot is unreal. Look at his body movement before the shot even comes out of his stick. He's got the goalie moving all over the goal, and then he can still sting it. I mean, wow.
Tough to see.
Can't quite see it there, but great shot there. Got his body kind of hunched down a little bit, got his head over, got the goalie moving a little bit, and just stung it.
He was
really
moving
creative finisher, even from distance.
He was moving so fast, he faked our camera guy out.
Yeah,
that's how quickly it happened.
It's rare to see such creative finishes from distance like that. The guys who can do that are special.
He is certainly one of those special players. There's a new face-off specialist in for the Hokies. That is Joel Smith, freshman from Arlington, Virginia.
Also, a little correction on my part. It's like Grayson Barker in on attack. That is actually James Stewart, number 50, playing that lefty attack spot a lot today.
He has been playing a lot. They have split time, him and Barker, but Stewart has taken most of it in the second half. He continues to play in on that. And it looks like Smith and Cole have come off the field as Panchito Ojeda has seen enough with 11 minutes to go. He's going to get some of his younger attackmen into the game.
I think that's a smart play, too. I think he's thinking also tomorrow, fresh legs. You know, if this game does tighten up, obviously I think he'll put him right back in the game. But, you know, trying to get fresh legs for that big championship matchup tomorrow has to be in his head also.
Back-to-back matchup against a team with the quality of Liberty. We're going to get a top 3 matchup more than likely tomorrow. Unless something crazy happens.
Liberty in a fairly close game, a little bit like this one earlier, pulled away at about this point in the game also, really distanced themselves.
9-goal win for the Flames as they put up 20 on Tennessee in a 20-11 win. Saw Tennessee leading, though, in the second half. And that's going to be loose ball push.
Right there, I'd like to see Temple be a little bit more patient. If you have a deep hole and you're going to run upfield into a double team, you're probably going to get that ball checked out. You can move it back, move it across the field, move it to your goalie, attack the other side of the field.
Oh, they do, and they got a long pole running right through the crease, trying to get it, and that time the Virginia Tech defense is usually too good for that to happen. As Eckert throws it deep down the field, and it's going to go out of bounds back to the Owls. Got to give credit, though, to Aiden Carr for at least pushing it once as a deep hole.
Yeah, those deep hole shots are so hard to track if you can shoot it. He probably could have shot that a step or two sooner before he got so deep into that defense where he wasn't really able to get his stick up and get that shot off.
One of the goals for the Owls this year was, and one of the main goals, obviously being new to the conference, was they really wanted to make the conference tournament. That was really their main goal, and I think part of Chris Merkelbach's psyche is we have to set lofty goals, but we also have to set attainable goals. And coming into a new season with a new group of players, trying to get that to gel, and then being in a new conference, it was a goal they set that was lofty but realistic, and they have met it this season. And they talked about if a win was to happen over this weekend, that would just be the icing on the cake for this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've done a good job, and I think there's a lot to build off from this game. I mean, this is an extremely talented Hokies team, top-ranked in the entire country, and they've had this, 1-2 goal game at halftime, really in it. The offense was able to execute. Hokies, though, execution in the second half, athleticism is just taken over. But going into next year, if Temple isn't able to come back in this game, I think there's a lot to build off. They can point to this game, they can watch film and say, listen, we've played with the big boys. We can do this.
Plenty of firepower, and it's tough when you have so many transfers, too. It's kind of like the Kentucky syndrome, it takes a while for you to gel, but they really came together this year, and that's a really nice move inside for Virginia Tech. That's going to be another goal for the Hokies, and Alex Ashley, and these Ashley brothers have been quite impressive today.
Yeah, whatever the Hokies are doing in shooting practice, I like it. Another nifty finish. Watch him drop his head here, finish high. Get the goalie reaching down, just finish right across the other side. Temple right now getting a little tired, starting to slide with their stick. Got to slide with body there, bring those hips.
You can see the writing starting to become on the wall, but how about these Ashley brothers? Austin and Alex played at Paul VI in Ashburn, Virginia, so they're Northern Virginia kids. Both really talented and big, bright future stars probably for Coach Ojeda's group as their only freshmen.
Sure, there's some proud parents not too far away. They could even be in the audience.
Sure, standing up somewhere in the stands or back in Blacksburg. Shout out to you, parents. You got two really good ones, not just one. And I'm sure if there's more, they're just as good. Drive inside. Virginia Tech tried to work it into the middle there and did not happen. But
nice little play by Tech there, though. I like that. They kind of got in the backside, kind of creeping. They brought that crease guy up real hard on that action and looked for that backdoor feed on the bottom of the crease. Couldn't complete that pass, but again, Tech's offense, good execution.
Recollected, and now it's Kyle Dixon inside shot opportunity, and Handy is coming to the game, and there's a Handy goal there for the backup.
Great exchange on the crease there from Tech. Good feed, just good save by the keep. Tech's execution and their timing on offense is really, really impressive.
It's also been impressive on these rides. Is going to work it over there. Stewart again, and he's got another goal. James Stewart is second of the day off the turnover, and Tech is now rolling with 20 goals.
A lot of crease finishes here by Virginia Tech. Again, small little fake here, little wiggle before the finishes that opposite side.
Credit Patrick Whitekamp, the senior from Pomperaug High School in Southbury, Connecticut, with a goal, and now a timeout coming for Temple as this 20-7 lead has ballooned with 8 minutes to go. And George, I think it's safe to say that we're going to see a pretty good matchup tomorrow in this ALC final.
Yeah, Liberty, Virginia Tech, regional rivalry as it is, and a great lacrosse matchup. You know they're going to really want this one.
No question, as we look towards that, and it'll be a really fun game tomorrow. But as we said, Temple, with a successful season, by their terms and by what they've said, is that making this tournament has been one of the things that has been on the build for this team that is, remember, was really good at the MCLA level. They were in those national tournaments, in those finals tournaments back in the 2015-2016, and then making the jump to the MCLA, just the level below NCAA, is no easy task, especially organizing this. And they've already got a really solid program at this level.
Yeah, and like you mentioned before, when they kind of faced Tech that first time a couple years ago, I think that was a little bit of shell shock happening. This game, I mean, again, they competed, they played hard. I think there's a lot to take home and be proud of from this game. I mean, obviously, you know, you want to win the game, you're still disappointed you didn't, but I think Temple is showing they've grown a lot.
No question. It was since 2014, they have just been a really solid program. And not just one, but 2 levels now. Everhart passes it off, and there's Handy with a nice save. Second of the day. And Temple trying to clear out, but Everhart, a wall in front.
There's again Temple with the pole, kind of trying to challenge that double team upfield too quickly. They are down by a lot, but you got to be able to reverse that ball to move it up the field, find some short sticks on those clears.
Griffin Trail ran right into him. And now he'll try to clear it out, and passes too high, trying to get collected. And we haven't called Ryan Foz's name or Zach Lawrence's name in a while, simply for the fact that they just have not had an opportunity to possess.
And that ride for Tech has really taken over.
So now Tech will resettle. 7 minutes left here in Lynchburg. It's been a fun week getting set for this tournament, and it's been a fun day. We've seen a lot of good talent, a lot of size. We saw Charlotte with another dominant performance, not just in the regular season and this year, but last year as well, as Virginia Tech gets another goal here. That is Austin Ashley. It seems like the Ashley brothers now are just trying to figure out who's going to score more goals, because Austin just got his third, so I'm sure Alex is chomping at the bit for his third.
A little friendly brother competition going on. Good outside shot there. If you're going to play zone, you're going to give up some outside shots. It's a 15, 16-yard shot on cage. Pretty good speed on it.
As we talked about, is Joel Smith going to keep taking these faceoffs now in place of Gaffney? We've seen a great performance by Charlotte, 25-9 win, the exact same score as they had in the regular season against the Citadel. And then we had Coastal Carolina and Wake Forest, and what looked like was going to be a runaway for Coastal Carolina. All of a sudden, Wake Forest in the second half really turned it on and just kind of ran out of time as Coastal held on for a 16-13 victory over the Demon Deacons. That'll be the matchup tomorrow, the rematch of the ALC final between Charlotte and Coastal Carolina. And then last game, Liberty had a little bit of a scare from Tennessee. There's no question about that. Tennessee put up a great fight, led early in the third quarter, but they just turned it on again offensively and on the ride in particular. It's very similar to this game where there was a pull away in that third and fourth quarter that Liberty took advantage of and won 20-11.
Yeah, I think in both instances, both underdogs played pretty good mistake-free ball in the first half. Not completely, but really didn't beat themselves. Started pressing a little bit more in the second half, while Liberty and Tech have really just kind of executed, slowed everything down, good adjustments. And like we talked about earlier, I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily to have a tight first half, have some adjustments, have the guys go through a little bit of adversity heading into tomorrow in the tournament.
And both star scorers for both teams have really stepped it up in the second half, and I believe are probably going to finish with the same stat line as Cooper Branham had 5 goals and an assist, and it's exactly the stat line for Aiden Smith. So that should be a battle of the Titans tomorrow. And Zach Lawrence just pushes his defender out of the way.
And I'm going to love on Aiden Smith just a little bit more. A lot of times you do see those dominant players in the game. Sometimes they will press their advantage a little bit much just because they are so talented. They can beat the double team. They can finish through things that others can't. Aiden Smith, smart team player from everything I've seen so far. Making the right play every time, making the unselfish play, moving well off ball, just a complete player.
Let's see, the ultimate patient player that looks for the best shot, and that was a pretty good one there from Dan Payne. It just hit the pipe. And almost as impressive thing, by the way, we have yet to call a Temple goal in the second half.
Wow. And right there, we talked about one of the keys to the game was Temple's pick setting, and they set a pick over on the wing, had that sweep, got a good look, just a good save.
There's a shot and a goal on the other end for Stewart as a penalty came up. That was a scary moment there for Lucas Bort, but he seems to be okay. And James Stewart is going to add to his scores tally as he has now a hat trick. That's going to be a penalty coming up on Temple. Probably somewhat out of frustration, but maybe not. It's going to be a illegal body check and a lock in for, I believe that was Zach Lawrence.
This is a great chance for some of those Virginia Tech players who might not see the field quite as much to get some action in a meaningful playoff game. You know, see their family, see them on TV, have some fun out on the field. You love to see that as well, because those practice guys do work hard and they deserve some credit.
Timeout coming from Virginia Tech as it will be a 22-7 lead that they espouse to the rest of the world. We'll take a break of our own, probably the final break of our game. 22-7, Hokies on top en route to Championship Sunday in the ALC tournament. Back in Lynchburg for the final 4.5 minutes of the ALC semifinal. Virginia Tech in full command. An impressive offensive performance. 22-7 is the lead as the long pole Christian Edwards lets one fly and it goes high. Not just that, but a second half shutout as well, George, for the Hokies.
Yeah, very impressive adjustments from Virginia Tech, really shutting down that Temple offense. The ride has been fantastic, well, just limiting possessions. And this is about that time in the game. You'll see some of those poles coming down the field, maybe taking some shots they might not have in the first half.
You might see one. Never know. Virginia Tech, it's unlikely just because of their linear play, but you never know with some of the younger players. That's a shot that is saved there by Handy again. He's coming for Mandel in relief. Mandel actually had a pretty good game here with 13 saves. Drive inside, that shot just high. As looking to score there was Marco McAfee.
Looks like Temple's going to go man up here.
And yeah, man up opportunities. Sometimes the youth and experience also comes with guys chomping at the bit to get in, being a little over aggressive.
And this is good coaching experience for some of these younger guys maybe, and also gives the coaches a chance to talk to them about their play, adjust how they see the field, angles, get good tape so they can coach those guys up also for the future.
Well, it would have been a man up if Lawrence had not been in the box already for Temple. It'll be 5-on-5 for a few seconds here before Temple gets an extra man. And away we go. So for Temple, they're going to finish the season with a winning record, 9-6. And good start to their ALC berth here as Payne tries to put one on Cage and cannot. Goes out of bounds. The Owls with a bright future ahead.
You'd like to see him switch to his left hand there on the finish. Kept it on his right. That's a very tough angle shot coming around the left side.
See, they will lose a lot on the attack, though, as they'll have to replace all three starters, Foz, Payne, and Reap, along with McAfee, who is also a senior, and Zach Lawrence, and Jackson Salino, Zach Kopel. In fact, their entire starting lineup is seniors. So it's going to be tough, obviously, to replace all that, but they have a lot of youth as well in the back end that they feel pretty good about. And maybe some extra eligibility years for some of those players with COVID.
I know they have some good quality coaches over there, so they're going to be coaching them up and potentially getting a couple transfers too. You never know.
Absolutely. Coach Kevin Winters, we talked about being a good coach, and then, Kevin Rogers also on that end, is he's going to go from here right into the PLL season. Getting ready to play with Chrome.
Temple might need to, suit him up behind the scenes.
I think
so. Out there, see what
I think so. That's part of why they used him, actually.
Yeah.
A lot of it was Rogers. They said getting in touch with him was just working out at University of Pennsylvania, and some of the guys worked out down there and saw him and had him hook up with the coach, Chris Merkelbach, and decided, hey, would you want to come and help out? And just turned into that relationship, and he's been a staple for helping them get a lot better, suiting up on scouts and the rest. And it's a great asset to have, to learn from the best and professional PLL player. It's tough to get better than that. How about the save from the backup goaltender here? That was number 20. That's Andrew Wickman, excuse me.
The sideline loves to see that for the Hokies, getting real loud with the keep getting a save there.
The backup keeper, absolutely. Stewart, does he have another one? Not quite, as he had to let that go. For Virginia Tech, it's their 13th win of the year. Going to try and execute back-to-back ALC conference championships tomorrow. And they take on in-state rival Lynchburg's Liberty Flames. And it would be a tough ask to go to Lynchburg twice and win, while the Hokies have an opportunity to do it tomorrow in one season. Final minute here in Lynchburg, as that one is put away and a goal scored there. That is number 45. That is Brendan McDaniel, a freshman out of Dryden, New York, who's going to get himself on the scorer's sheet.
Yeah, Temple in the first half did a much better job of keeping Tech out of the middle of the field like that. Tech's had a whole lot of doorstep finishes in the second half that have been nice and easy for him. Another example right there. It's a good finish.
23-7, a dominant performance as Tech continues their onslaught win, and Panchito Ojeda's got to feel good about it going into tomorrow, as the seeds have held true in each game in this tournament.
Daniel Gaffney getting a much-needed rest at the face-off X. Over 30 face-offs have been taken today.
Another penalty coming up here on the Hokies, and we'll see if Temple will try to run it down or not. With 18 seconds. A good season for the Owls, but they just ran into a better opponent. Virginia Tech is on their way to a ALC conference final for the second straight year. They'll look to defend their crown tomorrow versus the Liberty Flames right here on Lacrosse TV. Should be a lot of fun as Panchito Ojeda's group is victorious once again. They get to 13-2. The number one team in the country is still number one tomorrow as they'll take on the third-ranked Liberty Flames in the ALC final. George, it's been a fun day, and some final thoughts from today's contest here.
Yeah, I thought all the teams out here competed really hard, showed a lot of grit, good, hard, competitive play, safe play, and great competition throughout the day.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a long 10 hours, and we hope you were able to stick with us for the whole bit of it. It was a lot of fun. We'll see you for the ALC Division II final tomorrow between Charlotte and Coastal Carolina, and for Virginia Tech and Liberty in the Division I final. For George Revercombe, I'm Dan Zappano. For the rest of our crew, we say so long here from Lynchburg.